guys, it's Windwolf and welcome back to my channel. Today is a really exciting day because today we are posting our build for a community collaboration that's been hosted by SomethingSimlish. SomethingSimlish is an account that's actually run by multiple simmers, and they just generally support the entire Sims community. They also come up with their own challenges and collaborations, and they post like little quick tips on the Sims and things like that. So I will link their socials down below. And yeah, this collab is called Simmers for Lebanon. And the whole point of this collab is to raise awareness of the fact that Lebanon is currently experiencing one of the worst economic crises since the 1800s. So the point is to not just raise awareness, but also provide aid to the Lebanese people whose lives have been ruined amid the collapse of their government and rising inflation, which has left millions of people in poverty. Through the collab, they've organized a fundraiser, which I will link down below, which has already provided basic goods for 12 families affected by the crises. So if possible, please consider donating to that GoFundMe link. I have it linked down below. And if you can't donate, do consider raising awareness for this collaboration to see if other people can and will donate. And yeah, that's basically it for what this collab is about. I'm really excited to participate in something like this. One, because I've never participated in a community collab before. I always saw people post on it on like Instagram. People would be like, I'm a part of this cool big community collaboration. I'm like, how do these people get in these things? How come I never hear about these collaborations? And so for once, I was actually invited by SomethingSimlish. They had messaged me on Instagram and were like, hey, do you want to participate in this collab? And I was like, hell yeah, finally I get to participate in it. But also because this is obviously something that's really meaningful. I believe one of the simmers in SomethingSimlish is from Lebanon, and that's how they got the idea for this. Do not quote me. I'm fairly certain that that's correct, though. Fairly certain. So that's the whole point of this collaboration, and that's obviously just very like meaningful to like be focusing and working on something that's actually going to help people. So if making a Sims build like helps provide aid for Lebanon, then that's great. So yeah, this was really exciting to be a part of. For this build, we are building actually, before I say that, for all of the other people that are participating, I don't have them linked in my YouTube description box because not all of them are YouTubers. But when I post my Instagram picture, which will be at some point today, I will I'll at everyone that's in the collab. So if you guys are wondering, I want to see other people's collaborations, you can go onto my Instagram and check that out. They also use the hashtag Simmers for Lebanon, so you can also use that hashtag to find things on Instagram or Twitter and see if anyone else has posted their builds. So yeah, for this collaboration, we are building a theater and a cafe. This was so incredibly difficult, and I'm not gonna lie, I started this completely last minute. So they had a deadline of the 16th for like a teaser photo, like, hey guys, keep an eye out, this collab's coming. I thought that the teaser was due on the 21st for some reason. I don't know why I thought that. So then on the 16th, I kept seeing everyone post about Simmers for Lebanon on Instagram, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I realized that the deadline was actually the 16th and not the 21st. So that's when I started building this collab, building for this collab on the 16th, because I was freaking out and I was like, oh my god, I thought it was a different day. But no. I was just late. So yeah, but to be fair, I probably wouldn't have been able to start it or get it done by the 16th anyways, because I was busy with like work stuff. So I wouldn't have been able to post until the actual deadline anyways, but yeah. So this is a theater and cafe, and this was really difficult. I actually only have about 3 hours of footage, but that's because 90% of my time was spent just sitting and staring at it and trying to figure out what to do, because I've never really built this style before. I think I've done it like once, because Lebanese architecture is actually surprisingly similar to like Moroccan architecture, because they obviously go for that like big deco extravagant. I don't really know how to explain, but it's similar-ish, not exactly the same, but similar-ish. So they're both inspired by similar architectures. But anyway, so I've never really done this aesthetic, and this was really difficult for me, especially a theater, because how the hell do you make a theater in The Sims 4? Not just like a movie theater. This is like a theater where like plays are put on, It's not, there's no screen in this. This is like old-fashioned type of movie theater. This is the kind where there's actually actors on a on a stage. So this was really, really difficult. My favorite part of build is definitely my cafe because I just loved how colorful it is and bright it is and how cozy it looks. My theater, I'm super happy with the exterior. The interior, I'm like, I tried so hard to do that. I tried so hard, and halfway through this collab, I was like, should I just get rid of the theater and keep the cafe? But then I think I'm just being a little bit too hard on myself. I think the build actually looks really nice, but I just was so confused by it that I had to take a minute to kind of work things out. And on top of that, I built this on like a 50 by 40, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do with all this space? So it took me a while. Okay, it took me a while to figure out how to use the space. It took me a while to figure out what the heck I'm doing with this cafe. It was a long time of thinking. A lot of thinking went into this build. But I really love this cafe. So it's built like just a regular cafe. It is functional as a cafe. This is basically the only lot type that this is functional for, is a cafe lot type. And that is because I didn't really know what other lot type to consider from when I was building this. Like, I mean, I guess I could technically like maybe go for a museum or something, but I don't know, like the theater doesn't really have any like functional aspect to it. This was really just more built for fun, like for the aesthetics more so than like playing in. But the cafe is adorable. Actually, maybe I'll post the the cafe separately as well. So if you guys just want the cafe for the gameplay part, then you can have it. I'll post one together and one separate. So if you want just the cafe, you can have just the cafe. And if you want just the, or if you want everything, then I'll post everything as well. So yeah, if I remember to do that, then I'm going to do that. But yeah, I didn't really know what else to like make this functional for, so I was like, I'm just gonna make it functional as a cafe. You guys can obviously add things as needed if you want to make it like an art museum, or I don't know what else you could make this as, honestly. I don't know, but whatever you want to do with it, go for it. So this left side is a just really simple cafe. I thought about making it a restaurant, and then I was like, nah, it's too much work. I felt like a cafe was cuter, and it just worked out so well with the way this sort of laid out. I would have had to figure out a place for a kitchen. That's just messy. And I already had to figure out what to do with the theater at this point. This was when I started building. Okay, I started building this cafe, and I was like, I can't figure out this theater. We're just going to move on to something else. So I moved on to this cafe instead. This was my way of escaping the theater because I had no idea what I was doing. But the theater looks really cool. I can't wait for you guys to see like the finished product of it. The interior, I really wish I could make like more like curved flooring and stuff. Because you know, like if you go to like a concert hall, they have like seating on the ground floor, and then they have seating like in the walls and stuff on higher levels, and those are like the big ticket seating areas. I wanted to do something like that, so I did do like 2 levels, but it doesn't look as cool because if I had done that and tried to make it functional, I would have had to figure out where to put stairs for every single seating area, and it would have ruined my entire build. So I just did like 2 floors, and it goes up by 1 set of stairs, so it doesn't look as cool as what I was intending. In all fairness, I probably could have just done it and not worried about the functionality of it, because I don't know what you would use the cafe, or not the cafe, what you would use the theater for functionally anyways, as I've already said about a million times. So I don't know why I was so intent of making everything reachable, but it's all reachable. Like everything moves, or is like play tested, I guess. I didn't play test this build. I should not use that word. It's not play tested, but everything is designed so that your sim can reach it. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, on the left side we have a cafe, the middle is the theater, and on the right side is just like this little garden area with a pond. At first I thought I would make another building or like some sort of outdoor seating area, but we already had the outdoor seating area connected to this cafe right here, and I was like, there's no point of having like so many. And I was also like, this looks a little bit barren. I kind of made this intended that it would look like a plaza or something. So in the front, there is just stone, no plants. Like there's little sections for plants, but like usually I would just cover the whole area with plants, but it just didn't feel fitting for the vibes to have plants everywhere. So I was like, okay, what if we make this little pond area with plants? Because that way we have more plants, and it doesn't look so like dry. Like the build was looking pretty dry. So I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to do that. So yeah, that was what I did for that part. And Yeah, I honestly don't even know what to say for some reason today. I'm not gonna lie. I've done this voiceover like 6 times because I kept blurbing my words at the beginning and I couldn't even get past 3 minutes without like freaking up, you know? So, for example, instead of inflation, I said inflammation. I don't know why. I said that every single time. I did this voiceover multiple times and I kept saying inflammation instead of inflation. How? Why? I don't know. Okay, I don't know what was going on with my brain to not be able to say the word inflation. Especially as someone who like studies economics, I was like, how can I not say this word all of a sudden? It was so annoying. I was about to like give up and like wake up at early morning the day of the collab and finish this voiceover and do it. And to be honest, I just like gave up. So if I like blurb in the middle of this, I'm so sorry. As you can see, we're doing the interior. Okay, so I use these like fancy chairs because I googled some pictures of theaters in Lebanon because I didn't really know like what's the aesthetic. I mean, obviously like in America, you know, the aesthetic's like pretty basic. It's just like these like chairs. Usually, well, if you're going to like a movie theater, you know, you think of like the dark red chairs, and then if you think of like a concert hall, it's like black chairs just squished together. But so I use these fancy chairs because that's what I saw in the picture. I also sized up this poor curtain so that it would look like a curtain going over the stage, mostly because I didn't really know how else to play that. This is a 3-floored theater because I really wanted to feel grand, you know? So it's 3 floors, which is absolutely crazy. And the first floor is just the seating area, and then there's a floor where the flooring's been deleted, so that would be the second floor, essentially, but it's, you know, just one open floor. And then the topper floor is the last seating area at the top. So, yeah, that was my way of trying to make it look more grand, was by having more like vaulted, you know, ceilings and stuff like that, or just making it seem taller on the interior rather than having it be so like squished. Although the bottom floor is like tall wall height, but it still didn't look tall enough. So I was like, okay, we'll just add a second height to it. So yeah. And then the one thing that isn't very realistic about this build, and I will not apologize for it, is the fact that there's no like area for the actors to change. There's no like area where the set stuff is, anything like that. And that is because I really liked the exterior of this theater and I could not bear trying to change it and add more stuff. I did think about it at the last minute because there is some blank space behind the theater and cafe that is completely unused, and I'm just going to ignore that it exists. But I thought about it, like maybe I could make like a separate building for all of the actors to like change in and things like that, but that was too much for me at this point because I just couldn't do it. My brain power just trying to figure out this. You guys have no idea how much I spent like glaring at this and being like, what should I do next? I don't know. And I also just struggled in general with like populating it with things because we don't really have that much that goes with this sort of style, this like Lebanese style, sort of like Muslim architecture. The same thing with like why, you know, you think of like the Oasis kit that's based off of Moroccan architecture. If you guys don't know, Moroccan architecture is Muslim architecture as well. So it's similar aesthetics, which is what I was saying earlier. And we just don't have that in The Sims. Like barely have that in The Sims. And there's some really talented people who can like find things or like overlap things or use like Tool or something and make crazy stuff. I am not one of those people. So this is what I came up with using that kit a lot. But I really wish we had more that sort of suited this architecture and this culture style because it's such a nice art style. It's such a nice architectural style, but we just don't have a lot of it, and it's really unfortunate. So yeah, but it still turned out really nice. I'm like happy with this build. I am happy with this build. Yeah I don't know why I feel like I have to convince myself that I am happy with this build. I am. I actually really like how the curtain looks because I tried like several times. I was like overlapping curtains and doing all this stuff, and I could not figure out for the life of me how to make a curtain go over the stupid theater. And finally I found that curtain and it's sized up so perfectly, like literally had the width exactly how much I needed it. And I was like, thank God. Now we're doing landscaping, which I think was by far the easiest part of this build. The cafe and the landscaping were definitely the easiest parts of this build, but by a long shot. By a long shot. Am I using that phrase correctly? I don't think I am. I'm gonna stop saying that. But yeah, and then we have this little fountain area with just some seating, because again, I was trying to go for like plaza vibes, because this is obviously two separate buildings. I mean, I guess technically they're connected because you walk out of the theater into the cafe seating area, but I just wanted to look more like a plaza, like maybe you're on like a street or something, not just like some sort of suburban lot, which is what this is, obviously, because this, I think this might be, I don't know, someone rich lived here and I deleted their house and I evicted them because I wanted the lot. So this was meant for like residential homes. I do really wish that The Sims had like, what do you say, like more areas that actually looked commercial. Everything in The Sims looks like it's meant for a suburban residential home. I really wish we had more commercial lots, like Mongolia Promenade or whatever. That looks great. There's a place in Windenburg as well that also looks like it's meant to be like a shopping area. Why don't we have more of that? Oh my god, I love, wait, guys, I love this area that I made. It's so cool. This little like pond area. I just felt like it rounded out the world, like the place so well. Like it looks amazing. I'm really proud of myself for thinking of that. I don't know why. It took me so long to figure out, and I was like, what if we just made a pond? Just put a pond randomly next to the theater. And it looks really nice. I feel like it rounds out the build a lot, because this is obviously a lot of building and it's in like Oasis Springs, which is a total desert. So to add this like big green patch, I think helped round out the build and made it look less cold. Not cold, but like, I don't know how to phrase it, just boring or like less colorful, because obviously the entire theater is white. I debated for so long whether or not to make the theater a different color or to like add some other color. I thought about yellow, I tried green, I tried red, but the thing is that in the pictures, these like grand buildings that are meant to be theaters tend to have this sort of like opaque off-white color, and it looks really, really nice, but for the build, I just felt like it looked very unexciting, especially in comparison to the very extravagant cafe that's all orange. But I think it pulled off in the end. I don't really know what changed my mind. I think just decorating it and seeing it all at once sort of made me reconsider. But yeah, I really like how this build turned out. And once again, all the stuff will be linked down below. So please consider either sharing this collab or donating to the GoFundMe, which I have linked down below. And I hope you guys liked this video. As always, if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like me, hit the subscribe button. If you really like me and want me notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that bell button. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time.